So I'm here to vent about riding the city bus. Um, I was walking to school all summer, so I forgot about how annoying riding the city bus can be. Just there's so many pet peeves I have about people on the city bus. And instead of complaining, I just thought it might be fun to just talk about it because venting is good, and let's face it, it's funny. So number one, obviously, people who don't get up for seniors when they should. And this doesn't happen very often. It does happen. It happened in the city I used to live in. People weren't very good about that, and it used to drive me crazy. The number of times there'd be some little punk kid sitting in the priority seating for seniors and just wouldn't move. I wanted to punch him and call his mother. One thing I've got to say about Vancouver is that people are very, very, very good about that. They never hesitate, which is something that has actually impressed me since I moved here in January. People are just really good about being responsive when they see someone who's older or pregnant or has a disability. They get up without question, and most people get up in groups. Like a lot of people will give up their seat at once, and there's like five people, and then but they're very, very good about that. Number two, when the bus is getting full and people don't move to the back. This is something that does happen in Vancouver a lot. Almost daily when the bus fills up, the driver has to get on his communicator radio and ask people to move back because they won't do it. I don't know what the problem is. Um, I've been the person behind the person who's got like 10 feet in front of them and they're just standing there and they're, texting on their iPhone and they just don't pay attention, or they're just, I don't know. That really drives me crazy. I mean, the way I see it, how hard is it to move to the back of the bus? You see it's filling up, you move. And when I'm stuck behind those people, like I'm trying to move, but I can't move because they won't move, and the person behind me gets really mad. So that drives me crazy. Number three, when people wait until the last minute to count their change for the bus. Again, this does not happen very often. It's happened maybe once or twice. But a couple of times I've been waiting at a bus stop for 5-10 minutes with a person who only waits until the bus arrives and they get on, and then they start counting their change for a couple minutes and they hold up the line, and it's just very annoying. Again, doesn't happen very often, but I've seen it once or twice, and I'm thinking, you were just sitting at the bus stop for 10 minutes staring at nothing. Why couldn't you count your change then? Like, what the hell? Um, Number four, I know that when you exit the bus, generally you leave by the back, but obviously sometimes when it's really full and you're right at the front, you will get off at the front. Um, the number of times when I try and step off and the people waiting to get on try and get on when I'm trying to step off and they just kind of like push me. I don't know why that happens. And again, I know that you're supposed to exit the back, but sometimes you can't. But that happens almost daily. Like I'm trying to get off and they see me, but they just come and kind of get in my way. That drives me nuts. Let's see. Number five. When a person is sitting on the aisle seat and the window seat is empty, this is probably the top one that drives me nuts. I see this pretty much regularly. If the bus is fairly empty, it's not a problem, but when the bus is filling up and there's a person that is sitting in the aisle seat and the window seat's right there and they don't move over, I find that so incredibly annoying. Most people do, but then there are the occasional people who are just like, they don't think about it and they just don't move over. And then you have to awkwardly kind of shove past them and be like, can I sit there? And then you feel rude even though they should be just moving over. It's just common courtesy. I don't know why people have such a problem with common courtesy. Actually, this happened to me a few months ago. I was sitting in the window seat, and then I had pulled the cord to get up at my stop, and there was a woman next to me, or a girl. She was probably my age. She wasn't old or anything. And she does this whole moving her legs to the side because she was texting on her phone, and I actually couldn't get past her, and I'm like, you actually have to stand up to let me by. A lot of people do this. It's a lazy thing. They just move. They move their legs. It's like, oh, I'm texting. They move their legs. And it's like, can you just move so I can get off and not miss my stop? I mean, I don't do this. I honestly don't do this. If someone is sitting next to me and they get up, I get up, let them back, sit back down. How hard is that? Not very, right? Okay. Um, yeah, what else? Okay, number 6. Um, no, 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 no. I already did that one. Okay, another one. Cell phones. Public transportation, mainly buses, should have a no cell phone rule, I swear, because I'll tell you why. 90% of the cell phone conversations that occur are not important. I mean, unless you're a firefighter or a doctor and you're getting paged, which probably never happens, um, a person will be in a call on the bus, and sometimes they'll get on the bus and 30 seconds later say, "Okay, I'm on the bus now. I'll call you back." That's fine. That's considerate. But when a person is on the bus yakking away, having a personal conversation, and usually it's a stupid conversation, and they're loud, and it's like those ads. Don't act like you're the only one on the bus. They need to make an ad of a girl yakking away and put that on the bus, because that is so annoying, especially first thing in the morning when everyone's kind of really tired and it's all quiet, and then like the whole bus is silent except for this one girl being like, "Oh my god." So like I said this and I said that and I'm like, "Oh my god." And I'm like, oh, it makes me crazy. Um oh, what else? Yeah, most often, in my experience, it's some chick gossiping away to her friend about nothing, and it's stupid. And I feel like turning to these people and saying, no one wants to hear your conversation. But I don't want to be rude, but it's just, I don't know. And yeah, it's worse when you're even sitting next to that person and they're like shouting in your ear and just going on and on about nothing. And I'm thinking, you know what? Why can't you just text this? Because it's clearly not a conversation that needs to be on the phone. Like, this is just useless. That drives me crazy. Um, this one is not actually a big deal, but I thought I'd throw it in. Because it rains a lot in Vancouver, when the bus is crowded, you get a lot of people on with umbrellas, and so it's very wet and drippy and gross. Again, this is not a big deal, but sometimes when I'm sitting down on one of the seats, a person will come in with an umbrella and they'll let it drip over me, and it's probably not their fault because, it's so crowded. But that that's not great, especially when I'm reading a book. Sometimes someone will stand over me with their umbrella and they'll just drip, 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 and I'm like, push it away. Yeah. I think I've been guilty of doing that too, so I'm not gonna really get mad about that one. It really doesn't bother me that much. It's just one of those icky Vancouver rain days that happen, and umbrellas drip. So, um, obviously, this one, screaming babies. But again, babies cry, it's normal, and you're on a public transportation, so there's nothing that can really be done about that. When it's on a plane, that's a bit of a different story, and I'm sure I'll talk about that sometime. Um, and actually, this one's fun. There's this woman in my neighborhood who is totally obnoxious. She has a 3-year-old son, and she seems to think that she is the queen of the world because she has a kid. Most mothers are not like this, but there are some that are. So whenever we get to her stop, she's waiting to bring her kid to school or whatever, and he's cute looking, but he's a pain in the ass. And she always gets on and she says, "Okay, can someone give up their seat for my 3-year-old?" Really? Really? Okay. This may sound insensitive, but if you look at the priority seating, it does not say for children. It's for people with disabilities, people who are pregnant, and people who are seniors. A lot of the time, people will give up their seat to a mom with kids. I've done it before, especially when she has 3 and she just needs to keep them all in order. That's fine. But this kid is 3. He's got to learn how to stand up and, not be so spoiled. She's teaching him that, he gets priority because he is the king of the world. But it's not even that. She's just obnoxious about it. She's not even polite about it. She doesn't say, is there anyone who would care to give up their seat? She's not nice about it at all. She just gets on the bus and demands. And usually she gets on when it's very full, so people are like trying to move around while they give up their seat for her annoying little son, who ends up pulling the cord. She doesn't pay attention to him. He's a brat. I just shake my head. It's so annoying. I hope one of these days I'll be sitting in the seat when she gets on the bus and she'll ask me and I'll say no. Sorry, my foot hurts. But yeah. So I do think that a lot of people need to have some bus etiquette training for the reasons that I've just stated. I'm sure there's some that I've missed, but I think I covered the basics. So please, Please next time be courteous when you are riding the bus, because no one wants to put up with that. It's annoying and it's rude, and this is how I'm going to vent about it. So, yes, learn how to be more polite on the bus. Don't let your cell phone ring. Don't yak in someone's ear. Don't, step on people's feet. Don't, just move aside, give people some room. Majority of the time, people are pretty good, but then that small percentage of people who just think that they are the only ones out there, stop. It's annoying. I don't want to ride the bus with you. You piss me off.